Hello, everyone, and welcome to Grapperinos, the wrestling pizzeria where we serve you a slice of probably next week on Raw. I'm Bryon, and joining me in this endeavor, well, he got what he wanted on Saturday. Mike, say hi, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Did I get what I wanted from Saturday Night's main event? I think I did. It was a great show.
Oh,
But
that's right.
the Knicks glazing was kind of out of hand, Brian. It was very painful for me.
I knew you were gonna
It
be
was very
fixated on that.
painful for me. You know, I will say I did get Carl Anthony Towns showing up before most other people did. That I was watching the chat on the illegal stream that I was watching, and I got it before most people did. Because his nickname is Cat because his initials
Nice.
are KAT, and then Danhausen put a cat in the cloning machine. Get it, Brian?
Yeah, yeah. No, it was very smart, very brilliant play from Denhausen.
Do you know he has a son or
For sure.
a Sonhausen?
Really?
Yes, he has a Childhausen. Dan Danhausen has a Sonhausen.
Wow. Great. Well, good for him. Um, that's not where I that's not where I wanted to go. But I was going to ask you your initial thoughts on Saturday Night's main event, besides the whole Knicks glazing and all that. Did you enjoy the matches at least? We got new women's tag team champions.
Yes.
Okay, we got Lyra Valkyria winning her match. We also got Summerslam. The hype is there, I guess.
What's
We got
what's with
pre-show
them?
matches.
What's with them doing the SummerSlam kickoff show a full fucking 2 weeks before the pay-per-view? I was so fucking confused when they were like, "Oh, hey, the SummerSlam kickoff show is tomorrow," and I'm like, "Is SummerSlam this weekend? Like, what's going on?"
No.
And then they're like, "It's 2 weeks from." I'm like, "Why are you doing the fucking kickoff show today when it's 2 weeks from the show? What the fuck?"
I guess it's because I don't know. They need something for Fanatics Fest for
We
people
have
to get
yeah
hyped
yeah,
about
yeah.
SummerSlam.
We
gotta
have
let 'em know.
we have the Fanash Shit Fest going on, and we need to drive all the advertisements. Don't you like insert celebrity here? Well, watch Fanatics Fest, you fuck. God, dude, Fanatics is a blight on the sports world, man. It's I don't want to get too deep into the weeds again with sports stuff, but my ball knowledge has come into play very recently in WWE, so I guess it's relevant. Anyway, they make absolutely poor quality shit. And almost got to the point where they started making the jerseys for the MLB teams, and their pants were fucking see-through, bro. You could see through the fucking pants of players. Usually they give the players the higher quality gear, right? And then usually they'll have how it usually went was they would have 2 or 3 tiers of jerseys. Like you get a basic jersey, which is literally just a jersey with stickers on it of the numbers and decals or whatever. Then you get a higher tier one that actually was stitched. You could get ones that actually had the embroidered stuff on it. But then you could also get an actual game jersey, one that's fitted and actually has everything stitched, and it's a replica of the one that they actually give to players. But Fanatics is nah, fuck it, we're just gonna make everything iron-on bullshit, and yeah, and they fucking suck,
Yeah.
man. Fanatics sucks ass. I don't know who the hell is watching this stupid fest they have going on, but
A lot of
you
people
said
do.
something. You said something about Tom Brady fighting Logan Paul. What is
They
going
had
on?
a bit of an altercation over there somewhere. I have no idea. So we may see Tom Brady at SummerSlam, giving or at least helping out Alpha Academy. You know.
I unfortunately was not watching this product at the time when Gronkowski was involved in SummerSlam, but I guess I'll be here to watch a 50-year-old Tom Brady do something, I guess. So,
Well, it's not just that. We also got Nick Aldis coming out of retirement to battle Gunther.
Did you know that Nick Aldis is younger than all 4 SummerSlam main event men's participants?
Yeah.
He's
That's why he retired.
he's 39 years old. He's younger than Cody Rhodes, I believe. CM Punk, Roman, and Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
So.
And he's coming out of retirement just for this one match.
Are we gonna get Magnus back?
Put him back into retirement.
We get Magnus back?
Yeah, we are.
Dixie Carter must be like punching the air right now.
Damn it! She's like, God damn it! Wait, I don't know. Is she like Southern?
She'll blame Jeff Jarrett for this somehow.
She'll fire him.
She'll fire him again.
She's not even in TNA anymore.
You gotta watch. Did you see that documentary, the Dark Side of the Ring episode trilogy?
I have.
It's very good. It's my first ever time watching Dark Side of the Ring. I don't know why I watched it. And it was very good. It was very well done. I might watch the other stuff.
Yeah, I think recently Dark Side of the Ring has sort of fallen off a bit in terms of quality, but I think the TNA one is a bounce back for sure. And I hope they keep this up for this new season that they have. It looks very promising, but we shall see. We shall see. Speaking of SummerSlam, I'll just talk about this before we move on to the rest of the show. It looks like SummerSlam tickets are now on sale for $25.
Thanks.
How does it feel for the people who paid more than that to get their experience, only to be like, well, you can now buy these for $25?
Let me fact check something.
Okay. You know what? I'm stealing this suggestion from the one guy on the comment section of the kickoff video. But one guy said, what if green shirt guy buys all of the tickets so that the camera can be focused more on him? It's $25, man.
I was gonna say maybe it's because it's so I guess the code that they use to get it is I think it was JJETTAS, which is the Instagram handle of the Minnesota Vikings wide receiver. And I was thinking maybe his number is 25, but it's actually 18, so never mind. But I mean,
that name almost sounds like Yeti, but do continue.
I don't know why it is that way. I mean, his name is Justin Jefferson, so I get the JJ, but I don't know what the ETTAS is from. Anyway, I think this is the problem when you have 2 nights, man. You dilute the amount of tickets that are available. So, of course, there's more supply, so there's less demand, and that means the ticket prices are cheaper. So, I'm all for it. Yeah. I think, cheaper ticket prices are better for fans, and if it's indicative of how shit your product is, well, I mean, sorry.
It's true. That is true.
I have to say, the card is actually looking pretty decent. What are your thoughts on it so far, Bryon?
The build-up sucks. I wish it could be better. But in terms of on paper, the matches, they are looking pretty good. I think. Yeah. I think the weakest match is probably Chad Gable versus Penta, like in terms of build-up, I guess. But the rest have been kind of more on the okay to good side, I guess. So, yeah, I think this year SummerSlam, definitely a lot of people are going to complain about the 2-day format. They think that, it's going to sort of stretch the event too far, I think. But I don't think they're gonna bring it back to 1 day. It's going to be 2 days forever. Sorry. So the matches look good, but I think the build up could be a lot better. I don't know. Do you agree?
I do think I do kind of agree with you that the build some things are missing a bit of a build. Find the card here. Okay, there we go. Got it. So let's see here. Yeah, so Saturday we have this interim WWE Women's title, which we can get to in SmackDown.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
But yeah, Penta, Chad Gable, Liv Morgan, Io Sky, Brock Lesnar, Obafemi, Reigns, and Rollins. Like, that's all very good. And I think that some of these you don't need build for, like Roman versus Seth. You don't really need a whole lot of build. You know, there's a lot of history there, and you can just play off that. That's fine. Brock and Obafemi have gotten a pretty good build. The 6-man tag team match is probably the worst match in the card because like it's a literal fucking 2K match where you pick 3 random guys. So that one's kind of weird, but I think they just wanted to get LA Knight in some match somehow. But I think it might be better than last year. I mean, these matches are looking good, honestly. Like, you got 4 good matches, maybe 5, because you have the ladder match, and those always end up being decent. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Okay. Sure. I agree. I mean, it's probably going to be okay. I just wish that, you know, the road to SummerSlam could have been a lot better. But anyway, let's get to the rest of the show. Let's get to it then. Well, for those of you who have stuck around this long, in the intro, this is a show where we book and predict the next episode of Monday Night Raw as we head into SummerSlam, and we do it according to these rules. And after that, we basically watch the next episode of Monday Night Raw after we outline to you what we think will happen on the next episode of Raw from beginning to end. And then, as I said earlier, we just watch it and score it according to the scoring system. And we then come back here, we tell you what we got, and then we'll do it all over again. So, scores. I got 7. It's a lot of points. I got it from Io Sky winning and a couple of appearances. I got Seth, Oba, Division, Alpha Academy. Division and Alpha Academy count as 1 point each, by the way, because they are factions. Bailey is 1 point, and Lyra also 1 point. So, there you go. What about you?
Remind me, Brian, are we counting points for booked matches? Because I believe that Io Sky and Roxanne Perez was already like announced. So it was Roman's promo, I think, Io Sky, Roxanne Perez.
I didn't count the Roman appearance, and I only counted the win. So.
Oh, yeah. Okay, right, okay. Yes, I only had 2 points. I had 1 point from Obafemi showing up. I had 1 point from Jey Uso showing up. I had Roxanne Perez winning that match versus Io Sky. I had Bailey and Lyra Valkyria on this show. I had backstage. I had a lot of backstage segments end up being promos and vice versa. I had a Alpha Academy backstage segment that ended up being that whatever that fucking promo was. Sure. There's a great meme you can use as a thumbnail where it's like when Otis is like on his knees right in front of Maxine and the camera angle makes it look so fucking awkward.
Okay.
That was definitely some weird promo, but I think there's some good story there. And then I had a LA Knight backstage segment that also ended up being a promo, so I didn't get many points this week.
Okay. Well, there you go. Let's move on to what is announced. I don't think there's any. because I guess we're more focused on the ticket prices than what's going on in the program. So, without further ado, let's book this thing and head to my version of the show first, as Seth Rollins heads to the ring. Seth Rollins comes out, he talks about the Roman Reigns segment from Saturday Night's Main Event. He says that he brought out Tyrese Halliburton to spite the Knicks, I guess. I don't know. But he did say that Roman is going to get what is coming to him at SummerSlam. And Seth will get back the title and remove the Bloodline 2000 2.0 forever. He is then interrupted by said Bloodline 2000 2.0, represented by Jimmy Uso. Jimmy talks about him and Seth and their history. He warns Seth that the match against Roman will end in Seth losing, whether he likes it or not. Seth says that he knows he would say this because Roman will bring his minions out to make sure that Roman wins, but Seth, luckily, has friends of his own. LA Knight comes out to balance the playing field between the Bloodline 2000 2.0 and Seth Rollins, and a little brawl breaks out with the faces on top as the segment ends. We then get an announcement on the show that a match is announced between Jimmy Uso and LA Knight to occur later on in the show. So we'll move on from that to a backstage segment involving the Judgment Day. They talk about JD's loss to Danhausen at Saturday Night's Main Event and the upcoming Io Sky versus Liv Morgan match at SummerSlam. They start to think that maybe the curse is real. Liv, however, disagrees. She still thinks the curse does not exist. She asks Raquel to damage Io as much as possible so Liv can retain her championship. Roxanne asks to join her, and Liv tells her to just stay here. Meanwhile, we got Dom trying to request some monies from Danhausen. I think there was something from the kickoff show where Dominic Mysterio and Danhausen were supposed to meet, and they were going to talk about the human monies and stuff like that. But no, I think Dominic just pranks Danhausen again, and we're probably going to get something at SummerSlam between the two groups that probably ties into the Io Sky versus Liv Morgan match. So I could see Liv Morgan being uncursed just, due to the money situation. But, I don't think Dominic will be doing that because he is a man of Liv. I don't know. I don't think Dom is going to do it, but if he does, then it's definitely going to make the match a lot more unpredictable. So we shall see. Moving on to Io Sky taking on Raquel Rodriguez. I will have Io Sky winning from a failed distraction from Roxanne Perez, and she will win by pinfall. After the match, Raquel and Roxanne argue. Roxanne leaves and Raquel follows after her. Liv attacks Io from behind. She raises her championship belt to her, meaning Io, and the audience as the segment ends. I hope Io wins at SummerSlam, but I think she will do it with the curse from Danhausen, and that curse is Roxanne leaves the Judgment Day. I think that will be the curse, and there you go. I hope the Judgment Day break up soon, please. Division come out for a little bit of a promo, a little bit of a bounce back from last week. Austin Theory talks about the Tag Team Championships and what happened last week. Alpha Academy, I guess, challenged them for the titles last week, I think. I don't know, but if they didn't, then Austin Theory would talk about them potentially challenging Division for the Tag Team Championships. He says that they're the best tag team. Otis and Tozawa aren't dumb enough to try to take the titles off of them. They are then interrupted by Otis and Akira Tozawa, who want to challenge them for the Tag Team Championships at SummerSlam because the pleading failed, I guess. I don't know. That promo was just not... It was confusing last week. As Mike said, But Division accept, and Austin low blows Otis, and Division attack Alpha Academy. A match is made by Adam Pearce between Otis and Austin Theory, and it starts now as Otis takes on Austin Theory. Otis wins by pinfall, and after the match, Division beat Otis down. Akira Tozawa comes down to help, but he gets too beat up by Division. This is leading towards Akira Tozawa versus Logan Paul or Braun Breaker next week. We'll have Braun Breaker in there somewhere in the finish. And it will be Alpha Academy versus Division at SummerSlam for the Tag Team Championships. And considering Chad Gable is in the card, I think Division will go over here. I don't think both of them, meaning Chad and Alpha Academy, will win. Either one or the other has to win. And I'm predicting that Chad Gable is winning that Intercontinental Championship in his hometown. So, there you go. Jey Uso versus LA Knight is next. I'll have LA Knight win by pinfall due to a distraction from Solo and Royce Keys. That's right, I will have them appear on the show. After the match, Jey and Jacob come down to help out Jimmy and drive Solo, LA, and Royce Keys out of the ring. Adam Pearce comes out. He talks about how Solo and Royce Keys are here even though they're from SmackDown, and to punish them for coming here, he announces a match between Jacob Fatu and Royce Keys for the main event of the show. So, there you go. Lyra Valkyria up next, putting on a little promo. She talks about her match against Bayley and how she won. She says her demons are gone, and she can finally move on to what truly matters to her, which is the Women's Intercontinental Championship. She urges Sol Ruca to come out, and she does. Lyra challenges Sol to a match at SummerSlam for that title, and Sol accepts, even though she doesn't know what Lyra has turned to. It turns into a bit of an argument, where Lyra says, you know, she knows who she is, and all of that. You know, she got rid of her demons, etc. And Sol is like, I don't know what you're talking about. Sol extends her hand for Lyra to shake, but Lyra sort of slaps Sol instead. She attacks her and leaves. I think Sol will retain still if this match were to happen. I think the whole Lyra being heel needs more time to settle down before we can give her a title. So if this match were to happen, I think Sol should retain. Paul Heyman is backstage. Paul talks about the match with Oba Femi. He cuts a little promo based on what Oba said at Saturday Night's Main Event and at the kickoff show, basically saying Brock will rule over him and that Oba has no choice but to accept that fate and be taken to Suplex City. He is then interrupted by Oba Femi, who once again says that Brock isn't here, and so he is scared of Oba Femi. He tells Paul to tell Brock to show up so he can take him straight to hell. Paul smiles as Brock attacks Oba from out of nowhere, and they both brawl around backstage with Brock on top as the segment ends. I know there's a restraining order, but you know, he can do a little bit of a distance, you know, but Brock will sort of capitalize on the restraining order and sort of take out Oba is the main point with this segment. So I think Oba should win at SummerSlam, retire Brock, and Brock sort of, you know, retires for real this time in his hometown. So yeah, pretty simple. Jacob Fatu versus Royce Keys. This is the main event. Jacob Fatu wins by pinfall due to 50-50 booking. After the match, we have a huge brawl erupting between the six men with the Bloodline 2000 2.0, that being Jimmy, Jey, and Jacob on top as the show goes off the air. I don't care about the tag team match at SummerSlam. I really don't. I think, like Mike said, it is not that good in terms of build-up and in terms of who's in the match. And yeah, I think if I did, I hope the faces win, but like, I don't know. This is basically your setup for the Survivor Series War Games match, and you know it's coming. So there you go. That is the show. Any questions?
Yes, I think Adam Pierce, Adam Pierce actually said that the restraining order was fake, and those were fake cops, obviously, because Obafemi would have been arrested if so. So now,
how do you have fake cops?
I don't know. I guess they can get away with people impersonating police officers. So I had thought that Sol Ruca was staying in the circuit of the Judgment Day with Io Sky, and I was looking at this today, Bryon, and I don't know if you know this, but currently there's exactly 2 female faces on the Raw roster. 2.
Wow.
It's just Bayley and Sol Ruca. Because Asuka is nowhere to be seen, and I don't even know if she's face anymore. And Stephanie Vaquer is injured. Every other female on the Raw roster is heel.
Yeah.
That's kind of a predicament, because you only have 2 faces for the entire roster. Or actually 3, sorry. Io Sky's in there too. So, anyway, that goes to say, do you really see Lyra going after the IC title this early, considering we're this close to SummerSlam? I would think that Sol Ruca would stay in that feud with Io Sky and the Judgment Day, and then maybe run back Lyra versus Bayley with some stipulation at SummerSlam. So, where do you think they're going with this?
I think Lyra is done with the whole Bayley thing. So, honestly, unless Bayley sort of comes out and is like, I want a match at SummerSlam with you again, but this time it'll be not a Hell in a Cell, because that's taken already. Or a ladder match, because that's also taken. I don't know, put in a street fight, I guess. I don't know. Unless Bayley does that, then I really do think Lyra is moving on. I think the whole situation with Soul and the Judgment Day, as you said, I think that's just a placeholder. And, they're just putting her in a holding pattern until they find a suitable heel to take her on for the title. And I think that it is the time for Lyra to do so. Although it is still too early, but I think the sort of foundations for her heel character are going to be laid down there. So, if that makes sense. Anyway, I just think that for the whole Roxanne, I don't think Liv is going to make her go after it. If she has to find someone who is going to go after it, it'd probably be Raquel Rodriguez. But I don't think that the Judgment Day would be going after it. I think, or whoever, right? I think Sol Ruca is just going to sort of feud with whoever until she finds a suitable heel, and that suitable heel right now is Lyra. That's why they turned her heel a couple of weeks ago. So, I think Lyra is definitely going after Sol. As for Raquel, she's going to try to help Liv win, because she is cursed, and she is still cursed. So they need to find a way to take care of that situation. So, I mean, we got Liv Morgan being attacked by Mini-Housens in the kickoff show, for God's sake. So she needs all the help that she can get, is what I'm saying.
She got attacked by the Mini-Housens? Oh boy.
She got attacked by Mini-Housens at the kickoff show, yeah.
Oh boy, it's over for her.
Yeah. Any other questions?
So, I guess other question, where do you think... Do you think Penta retains at SummerSlam? Or do you have Chad Gable actually going over?
I have Chad Gable winning.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah,
Same.
I changed my mind.
Yes. Cool. I do too. I think he has a lot of momentum right now, and that makes the most sense. So.
Well, we had Sami Zayn winning in his hometown. We have another person winning in his or her hometown. So I mean, we're keeping this trend going. All right.
Okay, I'm ready for my card, Brian.
All right.
This was a difficult one because there was nothing booked, so I have to make it up
it's true.
from scratch.
I hope you get a lot of points from this, but we shall see.
I do need some
You
points.
know,
Yes.
you better send a letter to Triple H right now.
I'm just gonna copy this and send it to Triple H. It'd probably be better than what they have right now. Anyway,
Nice.
to start off the show, we have Seth Rollins coming out. Maybe he comes out with Cade Cunningham. Cade was at the show on Saturday. He is the starting point guard for the Detroit Pistons. This show is in the Detroit Pistons arena in Detroit, Michigan. So maybe he comes out with Cade Cunningham. Maybe not. Who knows? But Seth puts himself over, and he says, Roman, he's going to lose because all of his family members are going to be preoccupied with other things. At SummerSlam, they have that fight, that three-man fight with LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, and Royce Keys. So it's just going to be him versus Roman. There's no shenanigans, no Bloodline rules. It's just one-on-one. And then, in a mirror of what happened at Saturday night's main event, Roman's music hits. His intro plays, but no one comes out. Instead, Jey comes out from behind and lays out Seth Rollins, much like Seth did to Roman at Saturday night's main event. And this will lead to a main event match later in the show. Speaking of, I don't know, it was super funny if you watch the clip back of Seth assaulting Roman. Roman is just getting his shit pushed in, and then Jalen Brunson, I know Jalen Brunson is already injured, and I don't want him doing anything, obviously. But he's just sitting there, he stands there, watching this dude get the shit kicked out of him, and he's just like, damn, that's tough, bro, that's tough. I'm like, come on, at least show some concern. He just stands there, like, emotionless. It's so funny. Oh man, dude. At least Tyrese actually showed some effort. Like he was just chilling.
Okay, speaking of that, I know this is for SmackDown, but I just want to get this out because this is at the kickoff show. So they announced Gunther versus Nick Aldis, as we said previously, and how it happened is so okay. So Triple H comes out, obviously. He talks about SummerSlam and all that. Gunther comes out. He complains to him, about Nick Aldis, right? Makes sense so far? Great. Then Nick Aldis comes out. He's like, yo, okay, great. You're not cool and all that, right? They start a little argument. And then, Gunther gets pissed. And he just fights Nick Aldis. A little brawl goes out. Triple H does nothing. Like, what? Why?
I saw that. I saw that clip too.
And later on in the show, when freaking CM Punk and Cody Rhodes are fighting in the fucking stage, this guy brings out the goddamn freaking security guards. Like the New York guards. Like, why? Why not do the same for Gunther and Nick Aldis, considering Nick Aldis is your general manager, Triple H? Come on! Dude. Anyway.
Does Stephanie McMahon have like an actual is she like a corporate role? Is she like chief something?
I don't think so.
No?
I think she's just there because her husband works at the WWE.
Really?
I guess. I don't know. If she does, then I don't know her role.
Let me look it up. Time to look it up on on Wikipedia.
What should be like Chief Content Officer for the woman? Or something. I don't know.
Yeah, what is she? She went to BU. That explains a lot.
Okay.
What is her current role? Is she actually in here? What is she? No, she doesn't actually have a defined role.
Well, there you go.
Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, because like Steph was making comments on the show the other day about Nick Aldis getting involved in the tag team match, and she went on. She's like, "Yeah, I don't like to see it." I'm like, "Motherfucker, aren't you like the C like the chief whatever? Like your husband is literally the chief content officer. You could just go to him and be like, that dude needs to be suspended. Do something about it." So why are you sitting there complaining?
I think Gunther is a big star. He's a big draw. He's got a lot of merch sold. I don't think we should do that, honey. I think that's what Triple H is thinking.
Yes. Yep. He's as long as you draw the dimes, you can do whatever you want. So. Okay, moving on. We have a backstage segment. Obafemi is looking for Paul Heyman. They had a bit of a confrontation at the kickoff show. It sucks. I need to watch like 4 different extra things now to understand what's going on, but this is the current product. And yeah, so he's just walking around asking people where Paul Heyman is at. Now, actually, I'll get to this later in the show because I think Oba has a promo later. So I think this is going to set up an interesting theory that I have for SummerSlam, for the Obafemi Paul Heyman match. After this, we have Sol Ruca and Io Sky versus Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez of the Judgment Day. I think Sol Ruca and Io Sky win. This is because the Judgment Day got the better of this two the last week. I think this is going to set up for Raquel versus Sol a rematch at SummerSlam, where maybe Raquel takes it from Sol Ruca, or maybe not. Who knows? I think it really depends on how the Io Sky and Liv Morgan match goes. So. But I definitely think they're going to run back Raquel versus Sol Ruca at SummerSlam, and I think that we're going to have a Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria match at SummerSlam with some sort of stipulation. So after this, we have another backstage segment. JD and Dominic discuss the fallout from Saturday night's main event. Dominic is looking on the computer as to how to release a curse, because now they believe they are indeed cursed, especially with Liv Morgan being cursed as well. And there's just some funny, some wrestlebolics, as the cool kids say, happening backstage as this goes on. So I don't know where this leads with Danhausen. I don't know where Danhausen goes from here. Maybe there's like a tag team match at SummerSlam. I would like to think that he gets involved in some capacity at SummerSlam. I mean, he's literally one of the top merch sellers on the roster, despite not even having a title. I think I said this last week. In the top 3 right now are Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and Danhausen. So after this, we have LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. This is building up to the 3-man or the 6-man tag team match at SummerSlam. Jimmy Uso and Royce Keys fought last week. I think this week it's LA Knight and Jacob Fatu. I think Jacob Fatu wins thanks to interference from the rest of the Bloodline. So this is Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso coming out to help interfere on behalf of Jacob Fatu. There's miscommunication from the face team because they don't know how to work together. Typical stuff. And this gives the Bloodline the win. I think this is setting up for the Bloodline to probably lose at SummerSlam, but given that it's LA Knight, I think maybe Solo turns on them and then LA Knight jobs out again because it's LA Knight. So, next we have a Oba Femi promo. So Oba comes out to the ring and he calls out Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman arrives on the stage, and Oba says he now realizes that it's Paul Heyman that is causing all this trouble for Oba Femi. He's the mastermind behind Brock Lesnar, and he is going to take out Paul Heyman to make sure that Brock Lesnar can't pull any funny business on him at SummerSlam. And he ends up going after him. Paul Heyman runs away. And I think, hear me out, Bryon, that Paul Heyman is going to turn on Brock Lesnar and join Oba Femi at SummerSlam. And the reason I think of this is because I think back to when Paul Heyman turned on both Seth Rollins and CM Punk, both CM Punk and Roman Reigns at, I think it was WrestleMania. He just goes after whoever the biggest fish is. At this point, it's Oba Femi, and with Brock out of on his way out, I think that Paul in kayfabe sees this and is like, well, fuck, I'm just gonna hook myself to Oba Femi. And the reason I think this is the case is because if you saw last week, after the Vision and Maxine beat down Otis and Tozawa, Heyman came up to them backstage and was like, yeah, y'all don't need me anymore. See you later. Or something of that sort. So I can definitely see Paul Heyman joining Oba Femi's side and turning on Brock. So after this, we have another backstage segment. Chad Gable finds Otis and Tozawa backstage and encourages them to go after the Vision. I think this is going to set up what you had set up, which is a match next week, maybe between Otis and one of the two, maybe Otis and Austin Theory, or Tozawa and Austin Theory. And I think we're going to have a tag team title match at SummerSlam where the Alpha Academy take it, maybe with the help of a newly crowned IC champion, Chad Gable, coming in to join them. So I think that'll be a match at SummerSlam, definitely. And hopefully the Vision end up disbanding, because I've heard rumors about them getting disbanded because this faction is going nowhere. So next we have Chad Gable and Penta versus Rusev and Ethan Page. Chad Gable ended up beating Rusev, Ethan Page, Devon Evans at the gauntlet match for the number one contendership. I think this happens just to build for that. It's a can they coexist storyline, which we did on Saturday with CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, except that one was for a absolutely stupid stipulation that didn't end up happening, thankfully. And I think Chad and Penta win this one, obviously. Got to keep them looking strong for their match at SummerSlam. And I think that Chad ends up winning and probably faces either Rusev or Ethan Page as his first opponent after winning the title. And finally, for the main event, we have Seth Rollins versus Jey Uso. I think that Seth ends up winning this one, but they are attacked after the match by Jimmy Uso come in to lay Seth out, and Seth has no support, so he just remains laid out, and the Usos stand over Seth Rollins as the show goes off the air. I don't know who wins this match between Roman and Seth. I'm going to go with Roman, just because of the Bloodline interfering, and because it's Roman, and I don't think that Triple H has the confidence right now to put a belt on Seth, given that the last two times he's had it, he's gotten injured and had to give up the belt. Not, relinquish it, but he's had to lose the belt in a short period of time. So I think Roman keeps it through SummerSlam, and they set up a match for Mania between him and Oba Femi, probably. So that is my card, Bryon. Do you have any questions, comments, or concerns?
Yeah, so all of them. Uh, I'll get through to I guess comments before the questions. So interesting Paul Heyman theory you have. I think that can be possible. I could definitely see it happening at SummerSlam after the Hell in a Cell match. If like Brock actually loses to Oba, Paul is like, "Oh crap." Like what the hell, Brock is actually retiring. Like he even like asks him if he's actually retiring, and Brock is like, yeah, I'm actually retiring, no joke. I'm not gonna come back. And you sort of had this storyline where Paul is just like directionless, he has nowhere to go. And he ends up going to Oba, or Oba can just like take him hostage after SummerSlam and just be like, I have Paul now. He is the spoils of war from the battle against Brock Lesnar. So I can definitely see that happening for sure. And it's definitely going to be interesting to see Paul Heyman in this role, where he has to manage someone like Oba Femi at this point. Because I think Oba has decent promo ability, unlike Brock Lesnar. I think Brock Lesnar's weakest element is his promo. But yeah, I think that could be an interesting theory. I didn't even think of that. So pretty cool. Also, another comment regarding division. So my theory is that Maxine is sort of the last straw for division. I think WWE has thrown everything to division to make sure that people care about them. And I think that the Maxine angle is sort of the last straw in terms of making that faction relevant. Like, if this doesn't work, then I think division are just going to be disbanded. So this will be sort of the last test for Logan and Braun and Austin, I think, and Maxine to sort of make this work without Paul Heyman's presence. And if they can, if they can swim, then all right, there you go. But I think this will be the last test for division as a faction for sure. Questions now. So you talked about Raquel taking the title, or sorry, Raquel going after Sol Ruca. Do you think that Raquel takes it from Sol at SummerSlam, if this were to happen?
I think it's a 50-50 shot. I could see her doing that, and then we can move Sol Ruca onto another feud, maybe with Lyra, or maybe Sol retains, and then Lyra goes after her after SummerSlam. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Danhausen's next surprise. We got Kat at Saturday Night's Main Event. What do you think will be the next surprise for Danhausen?
If he has a match at SummerSlam, I definitely think it's gonna be maybe like a Vikings player, since they are in the Viking Stadium. So, Justin Jefferson was doing ads for them. That's why he had the code to give you a $25 ticket. So maybe him. Maybe like a George Kittle. I know he's been around. He's an NFL player. Maybe Tom Brady if he has a match somehow with Division. I don't know. I think this is going to be Danhausen's gimmick going forward, where he just gets random celebrities and other people and throws them into a match. So
yeah, cloning machine works. I mean, could you see something like, I don't know, Enzo and Cass are coming soon. I think they are sort of showing, I guess, vignettes. So their debut is pretty soon. Could you see them being sort of the surprise from Danhausen here, or are they going to be sort of?
I think
separate?
Enzo and Cass, or at least Cass, was teased in a vignette. So I don't think he's going to be a part of Danhausen's angle.
Okay. All right. Last question. Do you think... Oh, well, you mentioned Solo eventually turning heel. does that mean that he's going to be siding with the Bloodline in that sense?
Yes, yeah, I definitely could see him siding with the Bloodline again, and then reforming a Bloodline for SummerSlam and potentially War Games. So
Okay.
so we're
he
gonna
will
run
be
back
the heel side.
Yes, and we're gonna run back the Bloodline versus the Coalition of the Willing with Cody Rhodes at the head again for like the third fucking time.
I mean, if it works, it works, I guess.
Why even do War Games at this point?
Okay, so I feel like this is a trend because when they brought War Games back in NXT when Triple H was in charge, it's the same deal. It's a faction going up against a coalition of faces, and it's the same thing every year. And it's happening, I'm guessing, because it worked in NXT. So if it works in NXT, surely it'll work in the main roster, right? So I think that's his mentality. But dang, man. The difference is that the Bloodline are just kind of tired. You've been running the same match for a long time, and there hasn't been any development for any of these characters. For instance, Roman hasn't apologized for his actions to the Usos like ever since they joined. So it's like, what is the point? These characters are static. They learned nothing. So I don't know. I don't know what the point is for War Games, is all I'm saying.
Yep,
It works, so they'll do it.
I think they make the event first before actually having a plan for War Games, which is kind of a weird way to do it, considering the War Games match is kind of a unique beast in its own right. I think previously when it was Raw versus SmackDown, you just picked guys that worked better because you could just kind of throw guys together, and the storyline read itself. But nowadays, it's like you gotta have a storyline in mind before making the event, and I don't think they do. So
Yeah. Well, at this point, yeah, it used to before. You know, it makes sense for the storyline. Not so. You know, not the case now. So, oh well. They will do this forever. I don't think the War Games concept is ever going out, despite a lot of people. Every year they do this. They claim, you know, we're done with War Games. We're so tired, and then WWE's like, we're bringing it back next year. We're bringing it back. And it's like, who cares? So, anyway, there we go, I guess. That's what we got for the next episode of Monday Night Raw. And as I said earlier, we will watch the next episode and we will score our predictions and bookings based on what we got here. And then we'll come back on the next episode and we will tell you what we got and do this whole thing all over again. So, until then, thank you for ordering a slice of probably next week on Raw from Grapperinos. And remember, if you are down for some fresh, oven-baked, crispy wrestling content, stop and by Grapperinos and order yourself some content you can grapple with. See you next time, everybody.